Welcome back, music mavens, crate diggers, and record collectors. This is Ant on Music. I'm your host, Ant, and this week we're going to be taking a look at a few new releases that have come out, as well as some re releases, and also going to talk about Record Store Day, Black Friday 2023. First, we're going to take a look at is one of my favorite bands from the late 60s, 70s that continues on today, and it's current variation, but this one is from their 35th anniversary. This is Yes, Songs of Songus, the 35th anniversary concert. I was not at this show, but I did manage to catch them on this tour, and it was phenomenal. They were really, the show was in quadraphonic sound. Saw it out at Jones Beach Theater out on Long Island. Gorgeous night, fantastic music, sounded awesome. Everyone was playing well. This is the classic lineup of Yes: Steve Howe, John Anderson, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, and Alan White. Excellent set list as well. It's all here. The entire set is here on 4 slabs of vinyl. Comes in a beautiful gatefold sleeve. The records themselves are basic black vinyl. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes basic black is cool. It doesn't. Not everything has to have an odd color or splatter pattern. But the cool thing about this one is that even though there is nothing there as far as color goes, there was an extra side of vinyl based on the set list. So what they did was they put an etching of the Yes logo there, the classic Yes logo. Not sure how well you can see that black on black, but it is pretty nice to check that out. Good set list, has a lot of classics on it. Owner of a Lonely Heart, which brought a lot of new Yes fans into the fold when they released that in the 80s. Also classic songs like Starship Trooper and You and I. Going for the One, really good set list. They were in top form. It was nice to see them, really put out a fantastic show like that so many years into their career. Next thing we're going to take a look at, Steely Dan, Asia. Okay. This one came out after The Royal Scam, which is probably my favorite Steely Dan album. For a long time, I thought that this album cover was done by Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live, because he did do album cover design way back when. But turns out I was wrong. Can't believe I was wrong, but I was wrong. This has probably one of the best side ones ever put on vinyl from the 70s. Black Cow, Asian, Deacon Blues. I mean, 3 fantastic songs, one after the other. On side 2, you have another classic Steely Dan track in Peg. Then Home at Last, I Got the News, and it closes really strong with Josie. The album itself, basic black with the original liner notes redone on this gatefold sleeve. They managed to put the original label colors on the vinyl, so it's pretty neat. It sounds fantastic, like everything Steely Dan did. The production is just top notch. They never produce anything that doesn't sound like absolute perfection, and they're releasing, like I said, their first 7 albums again on vinyl, which are really great to listen to if you're into them. I love them, and they're out on tour right now, or basically Donald Fagen and cast members touring with the Eagles on the Eagles farewell tour. The next album that we're going to take a look at is from the record label Noise Records, German-based label. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary. This album is the second from Halloween. They put out 3 albums under the Keeper of the Seven Keys title. This is part 1. This was where I started listening to them. I didn't know about the first album, Walls of Jericho, but after hearing this one when it came out in 87, I went straight back and got that one as well. A lot of times they get compared to, Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. For myself, I hear a lot more of Queensryche in them, especially the vocals. Michael Kiske has a great vocal range, and I hear a lot of the higher end in him that I hear in Jeff Tate. And this album's another album which it's just top to bottom, just phenomenally good stuff. Kicks off with its little intro, which is kind of has a piece of the Silver Shamrock bogus commercial that was in the Halloween movies. Then it goes into I'm Alive, A Little Time, Twilight of the Gods. Finishes side one off with The Tale That Wasn't Right. Then Future World, which was the single from this album, did fairly well for them as far as metal radio goes. And then the monster cut on here, Halloween. As we get into spooky seasons, great album to listen to at this time of the year. And that's over 13 minutes long, has multiple parts. It really just shreds from top to bottom. And then it finishes off with Follow the Sign. The album itself is a cool, very cool blue splatter vinyl. Very neat. Looks cool on the turntable. All right. They also included a poster of the album cover, which if I was still in my college apartment, I probably would have hung up. Very cool to have that. I think I'm a little bit old to be hanging posters up in my house. I don't think the wife would like that much. Also, the gatefold itself, really nice. Kept true to the original gatefold, putting it back in circulation just as it was back in '87. Back cover has a picture of the band and all the track listing and credits. If you've never heard of Halloween, where the hell have you been? They're great. One of the great German metal bands that came out. Power metal mixed with a little bit of thrash. Really cool stuff. And, very much into the sci-fi fantasy stuff along the lines of like Dio. If you've never heard of them, check them out. That's a great album to start with. I would definitely give it a listen if you've never listened to them before. Next thing we have coming up is an anniversary album. This has got a new cover. This is the 45th anniversary of Wet Dreams. All right, this is Wright, or as they have it here, Richard Wright of Pink Floyd fame. And with him is Snowy White on guitar, who played with Thin Lizzy. And also Mel Collins of King Crimson fame is on this album as well. It's very atmospheric. It's very cool. The best way I can describe it, to my ears, it sounds like Pink Floyd with, the woodwinds and sax of Mel Collins of King Crimson. It sounds like a hybrid of the two. It is very cool, very laid back music, extremely enjoyable. They have the gatefold here of the album cover, the back. It also comes with a booklet in here as well. Ash's poster, excuse me. That has the artwork from the album. Very neat. So if you're into Pink Floyd, or if you've heard Rick Wright, definitely give this a listen. It's nice to have this out for the 45th anniversary. The vinyl itself, it's also blue. This is a blue and black splatter. Sounds great on the turntable as well. Really good stuff. They didn't skimp. They put in a high quality sleeve to keep it in, as opposed to the couple of other ones that just had the cheap paper sleeve. But still fantastic album. Next thing we have, new release. I was hoping to have all the versions that I've ordered on this one come in, but I only got two. Okay, and that is Steven Wilson. If you haven't figured it out from peeking over my shoulders, Steven Wilson is the new album for this week that I picked up. And I got it in two versions. This was from Asai Records. There are only 300 of these worldwide. It comes with the Obi strip, which is hand numbered and signed by Steven Wilson, which is pretty cool. I have his autograph on a few other releases of his over the years, and I got in just under the wire. This is number 227 out of 300 made, and it's a great new album. This one is in orange vinyl. Reason I'm not opening up and showing you this one is because I've opened the other one that I received, which was from the Burning Shed store, which is out of Germany. Okay, so we have the album here, which is just like the other one. It's in a gatefold. Okay, the vinyl on this is also orange. Let's get this out. Got artwork on one side, lyrics on the other. Gorgeous pumpkin orange vinyl for Halloween, I guess, on this edition as well as the other. The other slab of vinyl here, more of the artwork, and of course the lyrics on back, orange as well. It's very nice. Steven Wilson really does a good job with all his products that he puts out there as far as releases go. He doesn't skimp. It's also tied into the Wright album. That album was remixed by Steven, and there's the gatefold again. Also came with a little surprise, aside from the hype sticker that came with it. Came with this little envelope. Steven Wilson. How cool is that? And what does it have inside? Well, let's take a peek. Art cards. All right, postcards from the album. Got 4 of them. Got the Harmony Codex symbol there. And then the artwork that corresponds with. And then we have the gatefold from inside, so that's pretty neat to have in the collection as well. As the other stuff rolls in, whenever the mail from Europe makes its way to my house, I will share more THC with you, the Harmony Codex. This album I've really started listening to pretty much daily. I try to stay away when new releases come out until I get the whole album. Because sometimes it gives you a false impression of what the album is like and where it's going. And, you know, Steven Wilson, if you follow his career, he's very adaptable, much like Rush. He doesn't stay stagnant in one genre. He mixes things up. People that really loved his metal stuff, and I loved his metal stuff. Stuff like In Absentia, Fear of a Blank Planet with Porcupine Tree. I really dug that stuff, but I also like the new direction that he's going in, which is more ambient. You know, he does have several different outlets for his music, which he goes through stuff. You know, if you know of his career, you know that he has Bass Communion, which is ambient stuff, drone type music. There was IEM, the Incredible Expanding Mindfuck. That's another one that's ambient music and you know, more along those lines. And then PT, you know, really started off as a solo project and kind of changed over time and became more of a band effort and more metal oriented before they called it a day. And then they came back and they were a metal outfit again. But with this album, it has some really outstanding tracks. What Life Brings, Economies of Scale, the big, you know, quote unquote prog track on here, Impossible Tightrope, Rock Bottom, which has Nanette Tayeb is back on vocals with him on that song. Beautiful Scarecrow, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite tracks from him. Harmony Codex, Time Is Running Out, another fantastic track. Actual Brutal Facts, just phenomenal. It's very, like I said, very esoteric, very ambient, but it does have some classic elements of his prior work. It kind of builds on The Future Bites, which really came out at a bad time with COVID, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle. It didn't get a really a fair shake, but there are some great tracks on that, like Personal Shopper as well. And it finishes up with Staircase, which actually has Mrs. Wilson on there, which is kind of cool. So, you know, that's that as far as new releases this week. I do have one set of little discs. This is Ken Crimson, The Elements. All right, comes with a 24-page quote-unquote tour book. This is from the 2018 release. They've released 8 of these, and this was the last one that I was looking for, and I finally found it. I found it at a real reasonable price. I found it for $12. $12 for 2 CDs, brand new, still in shrink wrap. I mean, and it's got 28 tracks, so 30 tracks on this. Haven't listened to it yet, but I intend to get into that real soon. This came in the mail just yesterday for me, and I dig King Crimson. They're one of my favorites. Lucky to have seen them on tour, and they were magnificent. I had great seats at Radio City Music Hall. The other thing I wanted to talk about this week. So, Record Store Black Friday, the list for this got released yesterday. Man, was I disappointed. I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. Really not much on there that I'm looking forward to getting. For me, the things that popped out right away were The Doors, live in Bakersfield back in 1970. That's supposedly like a really cool time period for The Doors as far as live shows go, so I want to check that out. Other stuff that I'll probably get, LA Guns live in 1989. I had the honor of, introducing them at Lemoore in Brooklyn way back when, in another lifetime when I was working in radio. They were very cool, as well as their opener, Shark Island. So that's from that tour, and that looks to be a good release. They said that the audio quality is pretty good, soundboard quality. It's not a bootleg, so it's coming from the band. And another one that I'm looking forward to is Kix. 40th anniversary of Cool Kids. Kix just wrapped it up. They just called it a day. They decided that they're not going to tour anymore. Steve Whiteman feels that he doesn't want to go out with a whimper. He doesn't want to go out stumbling. He wants to go out while his voice is still strong. If you follow the band, you'll know that their drummer, Jimmy Chocolate Chalfant, had a heart attack on stage. And that kind of sidelined him for a while. But they wrapped it up. They went out in style in their hometown of Maryland, and the reviews of the show were great. The only other thing that really caught my eye on the record store list, RSD Black Friday 2023, was the Eric Carr Rockology solo LP, which came out last year for Record Store Day, and it was tough to come by, but I managed to get a copy myself. The version that they're putting out this time is a picture disc version. I guess that the original version that they put out did so well on CD and vinyl that they decided to put it out again, this time as a picture disc. I'm on the fence as to whether I'll get it. I'll see where it is, and as far as the price point goes, I'm not a big picture disc guy. But check out the RSD Record Store Day list. You can go to their website and check them out, and see if there's something on the list that interests you. If you dig the show, what I'm doing, please subscribe. Really love to hear any questions you may have or any comments. I'm open to anything. Like to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching this. Really appreciate your time. I know that it's valuable to everyone. And one last thing, just want to say peace, one love, and music to everyone. Have a great day. Take care.